Lucid dreamers of Reddit, what is the most intense lucid dream experience you've ever had? I flew. A day after playing this game Tribes Ascend, I had an intense lucid dream. For those who do not know, in Tribes you can activate a future device and go frictionless and sort of skate along the ground. You also have a jetpack for ascension. I dreamt I had that capability in the real world. I spent the entire dream skating around my hometown. Let me tell you, the feeling in my stomach when I reached the vertex of my largest jump. That single instant of unbounded joy. I touched the face of God. When I was in college, I had a completely self-aware dream. I was with my friends and a girl I kind of liked, and they were figuring out what to do that day. Something fun, non-class related. And I knew I was dreaming. So I said, I'm in, but I'm still asleep in my bed. Wait, lem check. At this point I opened my eyes. I was in bed, completely awake, in my dorm room. I shut my eyes, and was back in the dream as if nothing changed. Yup, still there, I said. Let's go, wake me up. So me and this girl are standing outside my dorm room. I say to her, you have to knock. I can't because I'm in there sleeping. And she didn't believe me. From my bed, I suddenly heard a loud knocking. I got up, excited, and even though it wasn't the girl from the lucid dream, I still to this day wonder how it happened out the way it happened out. I've told this one before, but it was my only change of lucid dreaming, and I wasted it on being terrified. I'm still fascinated by it, and kind of pissed at the same time. It was actually a two-parter, 3 if you count the dream within a dream, when I was 12. It wasn't even scary as a dream, more because of the implication. Night 1, it started out normal enough. I was walking through the desert, and out of nowhere my mother shows up, desperate to tell me something. I listen, and she begs me to wake up. This is a dream, please. Open your eyes and wake up. So I did. I was confused when I actually woke up and went back to sleep. Don't remember other dreams that night. Night 2, same premise. I was walking through the desert, but no mother to be seen. I then remember what she told me, if in a dream desert, wake up please, wake up. I open my eyes and wake up, in a medieval prison guarded by some sort of monsters. Naturally, I'm scared, but the people in that prison were terrified, telling me this wasn't supposed to happen, and that I should please go back to sleep and wake up in my room. It took a while for me to get to sleep, being in a prison and all, and the longer it took, the more terrified they became. Eventually I went to sleep and woke up in my room, but I still wonder if that dream was trying to tell me something. I was very high. When I went to bed I awoke again an hour later and drifted asleep but remained aware. Right after I awoke from it, for some reason wrote down what happened and texted it to myself. This was the text. You just had the most enlightening moment of your life. I became aware of my legs, not as legs, but part of me. I became aware my ears exist. I'm drowning in a sea of feels. I can breathe in water. It all feels of fur. Soft, warm and cool everywhere. It dissolves me. I was mountain stream, cool and flowing. I was the earth being tilled. I was the wind rolling in the air. I was the water again flowing in the current. The streams rock messaging my back. I was the universe. The matter. The cosmic clouds swirling around. I was everything. I'm the universe. I'm everywhere. I can feel everything. I was God. I'm rooted to the universe. To the world. To the covers. The bed and body. I'm aware of only my body as whole. Then torso. Then head. Whole brain. Left. Right. Front. Then whole again. But something is different. Trying to zoom back out. Head. Then torso. Arms and legs still raped and feel so much. Move then slightly to understand their position. I can't go further outward. The connection is lost. Sorry about the spelling mistakes, but I must have been still high, and it is completely unedited. I was really into lucid dreaming a couple of years ago, and could induce them semi-regularly. I found it really interesting how brains interpret instructions during dreams. So I fall asleep, and am in a corridor. The corridor is twisted in an unnatural way, so I realize it's a dream. I decide that the next door I open there will be a big Roman orgy that I can get involved in. I watched Spartacus a lot. So I find a door and swing it open. Lo and behold, I'm in the atrium of a Roman villa. Excellent, I think. Let the festivities begin. At this point about 12 Romans flop in through the door at the back of the atrium. They're big, like really big, twice the size of me, and are animated plush toys. One even had stuffing coming out of her eye. They must have started early. I think about this for a few seconds, really confused. My brain had given me an orgy with big Romans, not a big Roman orgy. I wasn't even mad. It was the most creative cock block I've ever experienced. I actually laughed to myself, and ducked out, and jumped through the door to a grand hotel with a spa, and ended up having sex in a jacuzzi with my girlfriend, then vomiting red wine through my eyeballs. I still find it funny how my request was manifested, and make sure I'm extremely precise about requests whenever I dream now. This wasn't actually a dream, but a lucid nightmare instead. It was a dream within a dream, and started out as me waking up from a pretty bad nightmare. I sat up in my bed, and saw something was off in my very dark room. The chair that was usually standing at the far wall of my room was instead right next to my bed. I found this odd, and realized a small porcelain doll was sitting in the chair. This freaked me the F out, especially when the doll lifted its head, and stared at me with its blank eyes. I immediately realized I was dreaming, and tried to fly away through my room, but as I flew the room stretched along with me. Then the stretching suddenly stopped, and at the end of my room was a mirror. Inside the mirror I saw myself, but not my normal self. Instead I was rather undead looking. I don't remember exactly what I looked like, but I definitely remember the rotting flesh I saw before my eyes. I pointed at myself, and screamed while the mirror image pointed at me laughing. Then I woke up, and played Skyrim for the rest of the night, terrified of going back to bed. The one that really freaked me out, and I truly believed had happened, was after a night of heavy drinking. I had been driving my old car near the downtown bar scene around closing time, and was a bit drunk, not unable to drive, but I knew I needed to drive with extra care. A couple of drunk sorority-like girls stumbled out onto the road as I was gingerly making a left-hand turn at a light. They were on the corner diagonally from me, headed in the direction I was coming from but from the other side of the street. Just making sure you understand the position. So, they drunkenly step in front of my car, and I hit both of them. One girl got hit by a bit more of my car, and the other had been more knocked over than hit. I got out, and saw that I had broken the shin of one of the girls. She was in a green ice dress. The other girl, in a gold ice dress, had a couple of scrapes. Her hands were cut up from bracing herself on the pavement, and she had a cut on her leg, but she said she was fine, that she had fallen worse before, but was worried about her friend. I checked on gold dressed girl, while at the same time, tried to set green dress girl's bone a bit more straight. The bone didn't pierce the skin, nor did her leg really bend in too weird an angle. It was like a fracture, but the bone hadn't split off completely. I raised her leg, and stayed with her, while she was crying in pain, explaining that, even though it hurt a lot, it wasn't that bad. Paramedics showed up in minutes. They picked her up, set her leg in a splint, said I did a good job taking care of her. Her friend refused ambulance treatment. Once I saw that they were fine, I thought, well, good, doesn't look like I'm needed here anymore. So my friend who was with me got in the car, and we headed to her place. Then I woke up. I freaked out, started yelling at my friend, telling her that we needed to go to the cops immediately, and that I had to turn myself in for committing a hit and run on a pedestrian. She started freaking out for a second, and then reminded me that she lived downtown, and we had walked home. It took me a few minutes to remember and believe her. I've had 2 lucid dreams. I had the first one when I was younger. I knew I was dreaming, but I couldn't wake myself up or control the dream, and, of course, I was being chased by sharks with legs. Scary shit. I had the second lucid dream more recently. I purposely induced it after watching Inception and deciding that I could become a master of dreams. Dream master, if you will. Anyways, when I became lucid, I took control of the dream and was like, oh yeah, I'ma make this dream my dirty bitch. So, naturally, I walked to a couch, snuggled up in a sleeping bag, caterpillar style, and watched cartoons alone. Lucid dreaming has taught me 2 things. 1, be very afraid of sharks, and 2, I'm not very imaginative. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.